Man, you know what time it is, man. Overtime with Otis, man. We clocking in. Today I got a special guest on the page. My guy Tomo from the Hell Boom podcast. How you doing today?
What's good, bro? How
Man,
you?
I'm over here chilling, man. Just got off work over here ready for this Lions game. That's why I did bring you on the channel. Appreciate you for coming on the channel day up. I told you we needed to collab. You said, man, you free today? I said, yeah, let's do it. So
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
So I was looking on your TikTok, and you had a special guest on your TikTok, and he was
Mhm.
and you had an interview. My guy Marcus Mariota, and like I told you backstage, I'm a big Oregon Ducks fan. So that
Yeah.
I was like, when I seen that, I was like, man, he got the goat, man. He doing his thing. He boots on the ground for real. How was that?
Man, it was cool, man. To be honest, man, Marcus Mariota, man, I've always had respect for him in this game. Former Heisman winner in Oregon, man. He was a show off on the field, man. Legendary play, even in the NFL, man. Like he's been a secure, great backup quarterback for Jaden Daniels, but he's also, done his thing in the league, and just having the opportunity to sit there and talk to him, for a little bit, man, it was cool. I got much more respect for him now, actually interacting with him than I had even before then. So, man, yeah, definitely, definitely a phenomenal person to meet. Very, very humble. One of the things that the camera didn't show from the clip you seen was when we were at training camp, I was kind of tucked off in the backside. Best spot to be, bruh. No cap. Best spot to be for training camp. You get a clear eye view on both football fields or whatever, and but a lot of players don't go back there when practice is over. They make they way back inside of the facilities or whatever. And this guy came over there and he took his time with each and every individual. And you don't usually see that, especially with Heisman winning players that were big names, because for me it showed he doesn't forget about the little things or the intangibles, and also he cares about every single person. And those are the things that stick the furthest, man. Taking those time to spend for the fans, just to show them, hey, the appreciation throughout your career, man, that's what it's all about, man. So shout out to him, man. He definitely one of my favorite players that came out of college as well. Career was crazy at Morgan.
Man, and then he's one of the reasons why I'm an Oregon Ducks fan. For sure, because that
Yeah,
impact he had on the game. So I was
yeah,
just like, just the him coming to our team, because I remember when he played for Philly before he came here, and
yeah,
I was like, man, come on, Marcus, man, they can't do you like that. Then he came over
yeah,
here, and
yeah,
he's been one of the fan favorites, humble guy,
yeah.
man. Shout out Marcus Mariota, man.
Yeah,
Let me,
man. Yeah,
let
shout
me,
out to him, man. He was with the Titans though. He got drafted with the Titans, right?
yeah, he got drafted with the
Yeah.
Titans, but it didn't work
Mhm.
out. Pe-
Yeah, it's a
People were
tough
saying it might have been
organization to play
college.
for, man.
Let's see.
Huh?
People saying like he might his college career was like the highlight of the career. That's what
Yeah,
people were
nah, for
saying
sure.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
You think about like when you think about college careers with him, you think about like Reggie Bush,
yep,
Jaden Daniels, those
yep.
guys that just had outstanding play in college, man.
I was
So
I was telling my wife, man, Marcus Mariota was the Jaden Daniels before Jaden Daniels.
facts,
For
facts,
real, he was doing that. My guy
facts.
Seabass, he said he clocked in. My guy E, okay, shout out my guy E. He in the chat, man. He clocked in. That's my guy. We going live. We going live stream the Lions versus the Commanders game. That's the DMV Nation. 202 O line injuries worry me. Man, let's jump into that, man. How do you feel about the injuries on the O line already? The stuff we're seeing.
We gotta sign Becker, man. We gotta sign Becker. We have a lot of pieces, especially on the interior part of the line that we can rotate. Not necessarily as much on the outsides when you think about Tunsil being gone, and then you got Connerly, and then of course we got Coleman. He didn't play, I think, in the preseason game, but you know, it's the next man up mentality. I wish over the best for them, but it's a tough position on the edge, man. You got all kinds of cats, man, different schemes, linebackers, everything. And that backside is the most important side. And honestly, I just don't think that Coleman has even shown or had enough reps to be that guy. You got to go get a vet. Becca's a great vet. He may not be as good as Tunsil, but you want to have somebody to hold over till Tunsil is back, man, because Coleman is going to have some rough patches, man. Like especially these first couple of games, losing Tunsil is a big hit, man. That's almost the equivalent of losing Terry McLaurin for a season, man. I'm gonna be honest because he's that good in protection, and it's going to be a lot more pressure and coaching from other teams are going to pick on these kind of guys. When you say, we got the young cat in there, we're going to send blitz packages, every kind of scheme just to him to exploit his lack of knowledge and understanding of the game. That's what they do.
You see what they were trying to do to Josh Connerly last year. Yeah. Last year, they was like, oh, we see he a rookie. Let's send the kitchen sink at him.
I'm gonna be honest, on my podcast, I keep it real, bro. And I gave Josh Connerly a headache talking about him because my expectation for him, for the team, has not been fulfilled, man. A lot of the injury plays, I've seen him take off. I've seen him give up. One of the Jaden Daniels injury was because he missed an assignment, man. And I'm like, they say he's done a lot of development. He's worked with Tunsil. So, I'm hoping he has a better season this season. I'm not going to judge him just yet, but I will critique when they fail.
Yeah, you definitely. Hey, you gotta keep it 100, man. We not over here to sugarcoat anything. And just like with the Josh Connerly Jr. thing when he came in last year, he's I'm an Oregon fan. He went to Oregon, so I was like, I definitely want to see him do good. He playing for the team, but it wasn't the best last year. He definitely had a whole bunch of people that were with the Brian Burns of the world, the Micah Parsons. He had to go against a lot of people like last year's beginning of schedule. So. I definitely feel that he had it hard as a rookie, but
sure.
it wasn't the best he could have did. He could have did better for sure. And I want to see the development because I want to see what our organization does at developing players. Like I want to see him take the next step, even though we know he's not going to be no Laramie Tunsil. Man, show an improvement from last year.
Yeah, for sure.
On the beginning half of the schedule, like he was getting whooped, and it was people would call him maybe a turnstable. But at the end of the season, it was looking a little better. So if we could get that at the end of the season, what we were getting from him, I feel like that would be an improvement this year.
But I do want to say this about him, and I've played every position on the line on the offense and defensive side. Connerly switched positions from left tackle to right tackle on the highest level possible, and that is not an easy task, man. Your footwork, your cadence to how you respond to things is put in reverse. And I mean, he's been doing a fairly decent job. And one of the questions that I asked my followers at some point, when Tunsil got hurt, I said, do you put him back at his pure position at left tackle, or do you keep him where he's at? And, because we expecting to have Tunsil for long term, you want to keep him at right tackle so he can develop there. But, it is an adjustment. So, I gotta lighten up on a critique on him a little bit with that, but that's about it though.
Yeah, but it's like this. So since we drafted him, if an injury like this happened to Laramie Tunsil, like you said, we should be able to push him and put him in that position because that's your position that you came in the league as.
Yeah,
so I definitely feel that. Okay, DMV Nation 202, they're saying Wiley looks horrible. Honestly, I'm not the biggest Andrew Wiley fan. Like ever since he got here, it's up and down with Andrew Wiley. So I'm just like, I feel like we need to replace him too.
Yeah,
for sure. How do you feel about this comment right now?
I mean, Wiley is a great wingman lineman. He can play pretty much all of the spots. That's a guy you want to fill in when somebody goes down. You get a guard go down, the center go down. He's a fill-in guy, and if that happens throughout the season, he's the type of player, he can play a good 4 to 6 games and maintain our offensive line being at a decent level, but he is not a starter and he is not an impactful guy on the field to that level. we could have probably done a little bit better on the offensive line this offseason. I mean, but Tunsil is Tunsil. But, a little bit more to replace, what we lacked last season, which was, and the offense did fairly well somewhat as far as the running goes, I would at least say. But, we got to keep Jaden Daniels protected at all times, and that's going to cost. That's going to cost.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you got to pay to play.
For sure.
Let's see what the next comments say. My guy Seabass Coleman was ranked the 17th best tackle last year. He's battle tested already. And people would say that because year number one, we went to the NFC Championship. Yes, we had to chip a lot, but Coleman, it was certain games. I think it was Myles Garrett that he didn't let get a sack, and then it was Max Crosby that they didn't get a sack on the quarterback, and he held his own to them. So that's what people would say for the Brandon Coleman, battle.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, that's a crazy stat. The one thing about the offensive lineman is you don't get any credit when you're doing great,
nope.
But when you're failing, you're scrutinized. And that's one of those areas for us. Last year was so bad of a season for us with injuries and just bad play. To me, I don't consider last season anything to brag or boast about. It's more of a wash. I know it's there. It's like, it's like a pet that you don't want anymore. It's there, but you want to avoid it at all costs. I don't know. But
that's one of them who we don't speak of. We don't say 2025.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. 5-12 is terrible. It's terrible, especially coming off a NFC Championship game, bro. Terrible.
That's what I'm saying. Let me see. Okay, let's see. He said, me, I know ball. He put up the stats. Okay.
He facts.
Okay. You clock it in. He said, we're going to start selling XFL Bama soon. Not for real. It's okay. Let me hold on. Let me run through these comments real quick. Okay, my guy Simba. He said OT and my guy Hell Boom. Let's go, man. Shout out my guy Simba, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate
Shout out to the guy.
Man. He always clocked in with me, man. That's my guy
Facts.
for real.
Facts.
Okay. Thomas Steele. My son Thomas knows football, especially his Commanders. I see, man. That's why I had to bring him on. I had to bring him on the channel, man. I had to have him clock in with me, man.
Appreciate that. Hey, Pops. My Pops a Miami Dolphin fan, too. That's a funny dynamic.
Okay.
But, Hey,
man, how was that when y'all was watching that game?
Man, it wasn't much. It's a preseason game, so, he a second tier Commanders fan, low key. He love the squad, too. He just don't like us on Miami. But you got to think of the time people came into football, when you talking about Dan Marino and all those guys. He was in the great era of football. So I get it.
Hey, look, Dan Marino, one of them goats. So I see why. He said, "What's good, son?" Shout out to Pop in the chat, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got seven people in the live. Make sure y'all subscribing to my guy Tomo at the Hell Boom podcast, man.
We vice versa too. Subscribe to Otis if y'all tapped in coming from my channel, Pops, all that. Y'all go subscribe to Overtime with Otis, please, man. We appreciate the support. The support, everything matters.
We over here doing this Lions versus Commanders preview, man. We clocked in. Okay, we got another comment. Henry Jr. was very good for sure. That's my surprise to make the team for real. Cause hey, look, DMV Nation 202 locked in for real. Okay, my guy Zell.
I ain't gonna lie, DMV Nation. You know what you talking about, man. Henry definitely took Jeremy Ford's spot. I already know Katron Allen was making the team because he offers a different dynamic than everybody else. You get an Alpha Morris, Stephen Davis kind of style running back from what we had in the past. This guy can pound the ball, very good on balance, doesn't get tackled for losses, and can do a lot of reps. We've seen that this past Sunday. But Henry just got that explosiveness, man. And he's undrafted, and he's a rookie as well. Man, if I was Bill, I would be concerned because he's offering similar quality from what we seen from one game. We'll definitely see against the Lions what more tricks he got in his bag. But, man, I'm telling you, the running back position, you can get production out of anybody immediately. This is not a position that you have to wait for development. It's already there. So,
oh yeah, and you
those
see,
guys got to fight.
hey, you see how we got Bill? We got Bill late round pick, Henry coming out of here undrafted, and he doing his thing, man.
Yeah.
So look, this is my question right here for you. How do you feel about the running back room compared to last year? This year compared to last year?
Well, I was a big time Eckler fan for what he brought to the team. He was a Swiss Army knife prior to the concussions. You know, can run the ball well, can catch out the backfield, can make plays after the catch or run first contact. Bill, however, lacked that. I mean, you know, he averaged like 45 yards a game last season, which is not great numbers, I'm be honest. And he averaged a half a reception, believe it or not. So that's why we picked up Rachaad White, because we didn't have a back that could catch out the backfield. And I think I don't think Bill is bad as a running back. I personally just think he's always looking for the big play that may not always be there. Sometimes you got to take the 4-yard chunks and deal with it, opposed to trying to always break out. Like, I just think his running vision is not clearly there. Also, the scheme has changed. Like, our running system now is going to be a lot more zone blocking and stuff like that. So he should be able to make these one-cut plays to make bigger plays. So, you know, I think he's great. I think Rachaad White is a great addition. He averaged like 40-some yards a game, but he can catch out the backfield. I honestly think early in the season, depending on performance, Rachaad White gets the number 1 running back snaps, and Bill gets the 2. And then Rachaad White definitely going to be the third down back. But Katron Allen or Henry, man, he's into the conversation. But more so towards Katron Allen. I think Katron Allen is going to be our future. I really do. And Henry, let's see what Henry do too. Oh, man, I said I lost my signal.
I was about to say your signal went out.
Okay, hold on.
Get some of these comments real quick. Okay, Taki say clocking in. My T Fryer 21 clocking in. Shout out my guy T Fry, man. I need him on the page for sure. I need him on the page again. Okay, T Fryer 21 said Diggs getting to 1K yards this year. Okay. Hey, look, I want that. I want Diggs to come and do that. If we get Diggs to get 1,000 yards and we get Terry to get 1,000 yards, man, it's up for real. I'm trying to tell you. If we get 1,000 yard receivers, it's definitely up. We need more corners and safety. That was one of the questions I was gonna go into asking Tomo. I was going to ask him about any positions he was looking into when the roster cuts come. How I feel about the running back room. I'm not the biggest Jeremy McNichols fan, so I'm saying I feel like we need to go younger. If these younger running backs could help us out on special teams and put that special teams work in, and because they're already doing what running backs could do, they could run the ball, they can get the yards, they're scoring. So I just want them to be able to help. If they can help on kickoffs and special teams, man, help them get right.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm not concerned about the defensive backfield, only because Deronta Jones, man, this guy, first of all, he a DC native, out of Capitol Heights, worked his way from the ground up, coached up Bowie State, all that kind of things. But he's a defensive back specialist. So we're going to see a lot of production and development in that specific area on defense, more so than just the guys that we picked up. I think we picked up skilled veterans, decent football players on defense. But the real scheming is going to be the development that we get out of the defensive backs. All of them are on an even playing field. I know Trey Amos is hurt, but he our number 1. You got Amik Robertson. You got Mikey. I would like to keep Mikey in the nickel. We got Rasul Douglas now. We got Nick Cross, man. A lot of people sleep on him. A downhill tackling safety that, had over 120-something plus tackles last season. Like, he's going to be all over the ball. Like, we got some guys, man. We got some guys, and Jeremy Reeves has been developing as well. Plus, you got Quan Martin, man. I think the defensive back position is not as bad as we're thinking, but we do have a lot of teams that have a lot of great wide receivers, so it will get exposed if we're not good. Because, you know what I'm saying, when you're talking about Cowboys, for example, having a double whammy, man, they got Pickens and they got CD. Like, it don't matter what two corners you go to in the league, like, they're not going to be as good as those two wide receivers, man. But that also works for us now too, man. We got Diggs and McLaurin, so you just want them to bend and not break. So that's my take on that.
Oh yeah, the secondary. I was in the offseason, I was hoping we went more and spent more on the secondary, bought some more help in, because the secondary, I'm not really too much of a fan of our secondary, because I don't feel like they can compete with the names of like a George Pickens and CD Lamb on them. Just like in the NFC Championship when it was Devontae Smith and then it's AJ Brown. Like when it's two receivers, if a team has one good receiver, we might be able to bracket them and shut them down. But when it comes to two 1,000-yard receivers and two main receivers that could be like a 1A, 1B, we struggle with them.
I honestly believe that that's going to change this season as well, because pass rush dictates and disrupts the passing offense. And that's the key thing we focused on, having and getting guys that can get to the quarterback. That'll mess up the rhythm for a lot of these quarterbacks. And if you've been watching training camp too, bro, and I know you have, if you look at all of the picks and interceptions, it's coming from the defensive backs. It's, you're not seeing like sacks and stuff like that. You're seeing turnovers from interceptions. You know what I'm saying? So, last year we were one of the worst teams in the turnover margin. This year, I'm expecting us to have a lot more turnovers from scheming the guys that we have and getting pressure on the quarterback and making him force passes that he don't necessarily want to do.
We even seen it in the first game, how the scheme and the system is lining up where we can get more turnovers, because when's the last time we got 2 picks in the game?
Man,
I don't remember. I don't remember it.
Yeah, I think the one game that stuck out to me when you talk about that we had a pick field day was that time D'Angelo Hall. I think he had 4.
He went against the Bears.
Yep, against the Bears. That was a good time. That game, at least.
Let me jump into.
They talk for the season.
Seriously, I don't want to see Jaden get hurt. I want us to be very fast in the backfield, not thumper heavy. Keep Bill, White, Henry Jr. Our line is not that good, so we need running backs that can catch. For sure, they're going to be an extension of the run game. And that's why they wanted Bill to get his hands up this offseason. Hey, look, DMV Nation 202, he a ball knower for real. I knew
he definitely know what he's talking about.
My guy T Pryor 21. What about Johnny Newton with the question mark? He must be talking about injury. I feel about that. I feel the pick is a bust, bro. He can't stay healthy. Man, definitely at this point, we definitely didn't recoup what we were supposed to get out of him, because he was a fringe first round pick. They were saying Johnny Newton could have won the first round, but he had them injuries. So from what the production we got out of him, it definitely wasn't a high second round pick. We didn't get that production out of him. So that would be considered a bust. And even to this point, I don't know if we would re-sign him with his contract up next year or the end of this year.
Man. I think I maybe next year, but Johnny Newton, man, he's not where we wanted him to be. This season was supposed to be honestly more so his breakout season, but you keep getting injured, you're not going to play. We had Kinlaw, and I thought the battle was for them two, not realizing that the guys. Remember Tim Settle Jr. We had him. He's still in the factor. More so over the nose, but the Aminahu, I'm not pronouncing his name right. I gotta get that right, but
Charles Aminahu. Hey, look, I ain't gonna pronounce
it. Him and Dietrich Wise will play defensive tackle over those guys, if Johnny Newton don't get it together. I can promise you that. It's going to be – we have so many weapons on defense, on the defensive line, that we can afford to take injuries in key positions and still replace them. We can afford that.
Even Dorrance coming back too.
Dorrance, to me, is the best pass. Well, he had his – when he was healthy, he was leading our team in sacks. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Von Miller had a good year last season as well, but we just weren't as good, man. And, man, just get production. Owuye or Owe or however you pronounce bro name. Mm-hmm. He has to be a standout guy for us. He has to get there and get to the ball, man. He has to.
Oh, yeah.
Because, we need a splash on the edge rush. We definitely need that, and maybe he's that guy. I don't know. We have to see. I'm a hard critic, man. I got to see how you play. You can practice well all day. You can do what you did for another team, but when it comes to my team, I need to see how you performing in real life situations.
And that burgundy and gold, because we done brought people in, and they could be MVP last year on the team they were, but when they put them burgundy and gold colors on, they just forget what they was doing.
Facts.
For sure. They forget how to play football.
Yeah, man. The truth be told, a lot of veteran players come to here for the money.
Oh, yeah, that retirement check.
You get your few that come here that really want to ball out and continue their legacy. And those guys, I take my hat off and salute to them for sure.
Get that retirement check for sure. Simba said, loving this running back room and the battle that's going in right now. For real, I'm trying to tell you, this running back room, it's like, I'm confident whoever gets the ball. I'm like, man, if somebody got to go out for a breather, man, bring K-Tron in, man. He could get this 3-4 yards, get that first down. Bring Bill in. Bring Rashad White. Bring Henry in. And
hey, one of the key things too, and I didn't want to cut you off. I didn't mean to cut you off. But the way that they ran, I'm looking at the line like they're running with a backup lineup. Just imagine having our core guys that's probably getting a little bit better push on the line, how they would run. I'm curious to see if Henry Jr. can deal with a workload of 20-plus carries a game and see how K-Tron Allen can do on the reverse, because their numbers was almost identical. Mm-hmm. K-Tron ran it 23 times for 87 yards, and Henry ran it 12 times for 75. So, yeah, man, I would like to see that battle. I think both of them are going to push the best out of each other so much that it's going to affect the people that think they got a roster spot, because I think McNichols is gone and I think Jeremy Ford is gone. That's just my opinion right now, but we'll see.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Let me see. Let's jump into these comments real quick. He said, I feel like the scheme that we have is not for him. I don't think he is a true nose tackle. I think he is a better fit for edge. But like he said, if he's not healthy, it's pointless. If he can't stay healthy, it's pointless. Not for real. Yeah. The best ability is availability. Just being able to go in when the coach call you in. That's why that's what scares me about the draft position and drafting players that have the injury history too, because it's like, I think Louis T said it. He was like, oh, if you had injury history when you come to Washington, oh yeah, it's gonna creep up. You're gonna see that you had an injury history. That's why it's like, I want to get over all that past hurt and trauma and that narrative. Like we could get somebody with an injury history come here and they be flawless, no injuries at all. I definitely would like to get over that. But yeah, Johnny Newton, man, he might not fit this scheme for real.
But Johnny Newton is good in the fact that he's explosive off the ball, mm-hmm. right? He's a guy that just got a little bit more speed than the average D tackle, man. Yeah. And if he can get that going right, he would probably win the sack battle against Deron Payne. Deron Payne is getting doubled and stuff like that. It's all on how you scheme him, though. But Johnny Newton is definitely a fast guy in the defensive tackle position, a little bit smaller, coming off the ball, man. We got to use him right. And he has to perform and produce, though. You only are what your production shows. And he hasn't shown us that he's worthy of just that commander stamp that we gonna ride with him forever. No,
Yeah.
they don't work like that.
Nah, I definitely hear you on that. No stamp at all for him right now. Okay, my guy E says, should Jaden play in the preseason? Yes, sir. That was one of my questions. Hey, look, he took one of my questions off the banner, and I don't even got to pull it up. So my question was, how much should Jaden play? Because I already know he need to play in the preseason because I don't want him getting out there and being rusty. So how much do you think he should play in the preseason?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Detroit was 9-8 last season, but they are a playoff team. They always had one of the best offenses in the game. They have made some splash upgrades in certain positions on defense. I want him to play. I want Jaden Daniels to play at least 2 drives, at least. If I had the choice, I would let him play the whole first quarter and then tone down his snaps the next preseason game. Detroit's defense is not scary at all, but their offense is. And they are expecting to play their guys. You think about Hutchinson and that Connerly. You want to see how Jaden Daniels responds to being pressured in those situations. Oh, excuse me, against those kind of caliber guys on the edge. Can he get his pass off? Can the line protect and hold? Can he, and then it also gives him time to heal if he, get any little dinks during the game. I'd rather a person take it hard at this game next week or the next week after the next preseason game when he plays, just do 2 drives and then sit for the rest. And then, let the season come and play. But it's definitely better that he get more reps earlier just to get his timing and all those kind of things aligned with that. And then we could probably see a lot more better with our wide receiver core because we got a lot of different options right now in the wide receiver room that's trying to earn a spot. See how he meshes with them, you know what I'm saying, and make our decision from there. What you think, bro?
Yeah, signal knocked again. I was gonna say I was thinking the 1 quarter, but I was like, I didn't want everybody to be like, man, he too drastic. But I'm like, because I don't want him to be in there and then like somebody who might not be on the NFL roster might do something that, we don't want to speak of. So it's like, I definitely want to see him out there, get his feet wet and everything. I definitely want to see that because Jaden, like I always say, he's the type to get butterflies in his stomach when the game first starts. And then he settles in, and then you be like, okay, that's Jaden Daniels. This the reason why he's our quarterback. When he settles in, nobody could beat us. I like getting over that point. When we get past that point, it's no looking back. Okay, DMV Nation 202. He said, "Who y'all keeping, Hartman or Commanders?"
Hartman, my brother, you're gone.
Hey, he wanted to make us laugh on this one. He want to make us laugh on this one, man. Nah, because AK, I definitely keep AK. He's a draft pick, first of all, and then Hartman, he just doesn't look good. It seems like every time Hartman plays, and it's like, shout out to Sam Hartman. He's a good guy. The team loves him. One of Jaden's best friends, I'm hearing. So Hartman, he's a good guy, but to play the game of football, I don't think so. Because I feel like he just makes bad decisions with the ball.
He does. Shout out to him. He does. I mean, if you look at their numbers from the first preseason game, I think Hartman went like a little over 500, 6 for 10 or something like that. Yeah. And then I think AK went like a couple more attempts, but around the same numbers, but no turnovers. And I've been to 2 practices, preseason training camps so far. So I've seen a lot of reps from both of those guys. And I will say that AK just looks a little bit better and crisp. Hartman overthinks, and part of it may not be him all the time with the wide receiver core, but just haven't hit his man. He has some good reps, but, man, I think he's gone. You're always going to go with the younger, cheaper guy on a business standpoint, especially if they're performing around the same level. I just hate to say it. Now, I mean, the situation with Mariota being down, it's a short-term injury. The that may be the only reason Hartman is on the roster for a couple of games, but they definitely gonna practice squad him at best for him.
Oh yeah, and he'd probably be good on our practice squad.
Yeah.
He'd probably be good on there for real. So just in case we need him, he'd be the backup right there. Okay, my guy Dre, he said he clocking in. Shout out my guy Dre.
Shout out to you, man.
DMV Nation 202, he said also Vita Veda requested a trade. Are y'all in? Man, I'm always in. If Vita Veda come to our team, he's a dog. Hey, bring him here and pay him. But I don't think that's a move they would make. Maybe if Tampa moved on from him in the offseason.
I don't know about that trade. And the only thing I got to say about that is what would we have to give up to get him? That's the real question. Yeah. I don't want to give up draft picks. I don't even like the fact that we had 6 draft picks last season. But, you know what I'm saying? Vita Vea is definitely a dog. But what would we have to give up to get him? I think that we would lose a lot of depth, and we would probably have to give up picks. Man, I grind it out, man. Yeah. I grind it out.
Hey, look, hearing that, I definitely don't want to give up a lot of draft picks because I feel like there was a lot of holes not filled from the draft through free agency. So I definitely don't want to keep giving what do they call it? Mortgaging the future for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. The best one we had is under Fletcher. The best one we ever had was under Fletcher. Okay. He said, I am for protecting our players, but we still have to start playing some of the players in the preseason. No one is consistently proven everything needs to be earned. Not for real. And that's another thing. We can't always keep Jaden under bubble wrap. We can't be like, oh, injury. Oh, he's going to get this. He's going to get that. It's like this. It's football. We got to send him out there and play. Because if the Super Bowl on the line, we're not going to be like, man, we'll set him down, this, that, and the third. You can go out there and play. You ain't going to want no backup quarterback to come in and play football for us. So I definitely want us to get past that for sure. How do you feel about it?
I think the key with JD5, man, is get rid of the ball. Do not take any unnecessary hits during preseason. This is not the time for that. Understand the situation in the situational football, which we know he can and does. Just get rid of the ball, avoid it. Listen, if you have to throw the ball away in the pocket to get a intentional grounding, we cool with that. Just don't take any unnecessary hits. That's my main key for this preseason for him. He definitely has to get his reps. Now, I'm a little bit more different with that. I know how much we need our quarterback, but he has to play. He has to get his rhythm down. But I would say the people that I would not play is the 2 wide receivers that we got. Even with a backup, even with Mariota, I think that we sit Diggs and Terry McLaurin. I think everybody else on the board, Jaden Daniels has to play. You sit Diggs and McLaurin.
I don't know about sitting the wide receiver, them two, because it's like this. If you sit them and then it's like, say the wide receivers are taking long, creating separation, and for Jaden to get the ball out of his hands. So it would be maybe counterproductive if he's doing that, because he's holding the ball for longer. That's the only reason why I say I wouldn't go with that. I'd be like, man, if you putting Jaden out there, put them wide receivers out there too. I'd rather protect him than them. We need Jaden over them wide receivers, man.
No, that's a fact. But I don't know. I just get scared, man. It's like, okay.
I'd be nervous too. We got PTSD as Commanders fans, man. We got PTSD.
Yeah, man. It's like I would just have I just get PSD, like you said. And my worst case scenario is what if we put all of these guys out there and all 3 or 4 of them guys get hurt? You know what I'm saying? That's just
then the season
is unrealistic. But
hey, we go from smiling to frowning quick.
Yeah. Every team is always one injury away from not being a playoff contender.
Oh yeah. Okay, he said a 3rd rounder. This hypothetically, a 3rd rounder in McCaffrey. What would you do? Would you throw that for Vita Vea?
Man, for Vita Vea, you can have McCaffrey and a McFlurry. Listen, I'm good. Listen, I've been wanting McCaffrey to show up and show out. His timing is off. He can't get to the spots. I've sat there and watched him. I was one of his biggest fans rooting for him because of his last name. And I think he has a skill set. Maybe it's just not with us. And that's just the reality of it, man. You got a lot of other guys that's fighting for a roster spot, and he has not shown up. I've seen him drop balls at training camp that nobody else was dropping. Not being able, it just seems like he's playing frustrated football, trying to develop and get to where he believes he can get. We believe he can get, but it's just not meshing. So
I don't know. I kind of been seeing the opposite from Luke, because even like last year when we had a whole bunch of people hurt, Luke was kind of the only bright spots. Like when we had all the wide receivers hurt and like maybe Debo was out a little bit, Terry was out. Luke was becoming the number one wide receiver, and then what he brought off the kick return, that stuff what he brought off the kick return really pushed him to a point. So I was like,
for sure,
it's like a up and down year. Okay, the first year was kind of down. The second year's up. It's like I want to see what this year bring. Like if he could put it all together. If he could put it all together this year, I feel like he could be a decent wide receiver.
I can agree with that in some sorts as well. One of the games in particular, I think about Luke McCaffrey, and my wife and I was at the game in Dallas last season where Luke McCaffrey was listed as the number one. I bumped into Michael Irvin at dinner, and I sat there and I argued with this man and told him that Luke McCaffrey was going to have over 10 receptions, 100+ yards. That was the worst hot take I ever gave. He didn't even touch the ball, bro. I'm trying to tell you, like straight up, it was one of them situations like he was open in certain situations, but the ball just wasn't getting there. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's the dynamic maybe with him and the quarterbacks that, he just not getting fed, or maybe it's a personal relationship issue. I don't know. But at the end of the day, man,
Jaden does have his favorites who he be throwing to. Like when he throw that ball, like just like when he was spamming, like he'll spam like, and the play might have called for it. So I'm gonna put that out there. The play might have called for it, but he was spamming like Zach Ertz and Noah Brown. When Noah Brown was here, I'm like, he just seems to always get a catch. It's like, man, throw Terry the ball. Like I'm like, throw him the ball. Like just like
but but you should have your favorites, and as a quarterback, it's not your job. As a wide receiver, it's your job. Listen, the quarterback's best friend should be the lineman. And the wide receiver's best friend should be the quarterback. And that means that if the relationship is not there, it's Luke McCaffrey's job to make it there. Tap into your quarterback in his world, because he's the person feeding you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Now, if the difference is I'm texting this guy after practice, we going out and doing things and stuff on a personal level, and another person not, maybe you need to start sending out a message, or you know what I'm saying? Like it sounds like, regardless if you think you're better or not, you have to make yourself available to. It's just like a job, bro. Let me know. Let me know you interested in me and what we doing, and you believe in me and what we got going on, and I'll feed that.
Yeah, I definitely hear where you're coming from on that, because the wide receivers, they definitely got to make the quarterback's job easier with the creating separation and stuff like that. Let me see, because they said, let me see, I'm trying to see game by game. Because this person in the comments, they funny. They said Devontae Smith dog walked this. I was like, I don't even remember him ever dog walking this. He might have had a good catch or something. They say
Devontae Smith a dog, but I tell people, like, I got a brother-in-law that's a 49ers fan. And me and him got in a big argument because I told him Terry McLaurin is a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Definitely a top 10. And this man came out his mouth and said Devontae Smith is better than Terry McLaurin. I said, man, I told bro, you smoke a crack. And I like the fact now that they got rid of A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith has performed on every level. He's not a bum. I'm not saying that at all by any means. But he is no Terry McLaurin. And we really going to see, and a lot of people sleep on Scary Terry, man. A lot of people sleep on this guy, man. This guy's the most acrobatic catch in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's a short catch, tiptoeing, short catch, route running, hip twisting cat that Paul
Contested catch too as well.
contested catch. He doesn't get the ball 10 receptions a game. Yeah. But if he giving you 5 receptions, 4 receptions, they clutch moments.
Oh yeah.
That's a fact.
For sure. So look, I pulled up the stats right here for Devontae Smith. It says he got 4 targets, 3 catches, 52 yards last game. The game before that, he had 8 targets, 6 catches, 1 touchdown, 42 yards. Game before that, he went 8 for 6, 51, 0 touchdown. So dog walked. I can't say he dogged walked us, But Devontae Smith, he the type to catch a good pass in key moments, and then that'll be leading to them kicking a field goal and winning the game. So I'll say he definitely catches the ball in key moments versus us, but he never really dog walked us, in my opinion.
Yeah,
he said Payne is hard to move in a contract year. He said and Payne, but it's hard to move in a contract year for sure. Nobody's gonna want to take that contract on.
Yeah, man. Just imagine if we still had Allen. Just imagine if we still had Allen, man. Allen and Payne with this defense and scheme, man. We be good. But we also would be spending a lot more money. So
the bank has talent in these players more. I understand happening. I understand happening, and I understand we don't want to lose anybody. But at some point, we got to go out here and start playing ball for real. That's what we were saying. Like, you got to get out there. You got to get out there and play ball for real. Because when Terry wasn't practicing and stuff like that, then he went out there and he got hurt, and there was a season lingering injury for sure. So they got to get out there and play, man. It's football. This is what they get paid millions of dollars to do.
Yeah, but that's why I say, man, it's got to be the Jaden Daniels or the receivers because, man, we got the 2012 season at hand. We revert back to that immediately for mismanaging personnel.
Mm-hmm.
We were up against Seattle. I think Seattle won a Super Bowl that year too. And RG3 was limping. And they decided to put this man back in the game. I said, this is not going to go well. And Kirk Cousins emerged. Did not perform well that game. You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. Listen, a lot of people think we're going to lose the Philly game 1 anyway. He can get his reps there, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What's the difference? The majority of people count that a loss. He'll have enough reps from game 1 to be ready for the Cowboys. Like what are we really trying to risk by playing them? Like, him throwing the ball 15 times in a game is not going to dictate, to me, in my opinion, his performance. I think he already has it. I mean, the guy practices with virtual reality and plays the game at a faster pace than everybody else when he's practicing. Yeah. We know he knows how to read plays. So I don't think that he's a risk, man. He don't have to play for us to still get quality out of him. That's my opinion.
No, I definitely hear that. Let's see what he said. He said, we can't be great if we aren't challenged. We need them players to play, brothers. Nah, we definitely do. We need them to play. Let's see. Yeah, I agree with that. I just got subbed up to Cuz. Keep going, bruh. Let's get him to 100. Yeah, man. Everybody, make sure y'all shout out to my guy. Make sure y'all subscribe to my guy Tomo, man, with the Hell Boom podcast, man. He out here doing his thing, man.
Too. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, my guy E, man. He a good dude, man. We definitely gotta do a show together coming up. Okay, what do you say? Terry does elite things in big moments, but not consistently like JJ or Jamar Chase or Diggs. Yeah, that is true. That is true.
But like, that's what makes. Oh, go ahead, bro. No, go ahead. Sorry, you, bro. I'm sorry.
Hey, look, your take was gonna be better about it. I was going.
Bro. You got good take, bro.
Okay. I say this about the Terry thing. You're definitely right about that, and I know you're a true Redskins and Commanders fan because you could be honest with that and tell the truth. Like, Terry's definitely one of them elite guys, but Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and he said or Diggs. Yeah, Diggs was doing it consistently. So
Let me tell you,
I would say they're on a different level, but maybe Diggs at this point, he might be lower for sure.
hey, DMV Nation, bro. I know you know what you're talking about, and man, you the type of cat that'll give problems in fantasy football with me, because we think a lot similar. Listen, Stephon Diggs had the most receptions and the highest accuracy receiving the ball from quarterbacks last season, even with half the reps of JJ and Jamar Chase. Like, he's the most efficient wide receiver. And that's why he was the perfect fit for us, because he fulfills what we lost and lose with a Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin is clutch. He's a 1A. Stephon Diggs is a 1A too, but he's a 1B for us. Stephon Diggs is going to get a lot more reps. And my honest opinion, Stephon Diggs and Terry McLaurin this season is going to have over 1,000 yards receiving, but Stephon Diggs is going to have better numbers overall because he can run any kind of route. This guy underneath, going across the middle, it doesn't matter. This guy is a problem. And listen, it's like, remember when we had Deshaun Jackson and Pierre Garçon? And that season, Pierre Garçon led the reception for the Commanders and in the NFL.
Yeah.
He was our biggest producer. We got that 2.0 now. We got that 2.0 with getting Diggs. I think Diggs was the greatest addition we had this offseason by a landslide.
And we got a couple more receivers that could fill in too.
And the one thing about it is, I think Diggs is at an 85% catch rate when passed to him and targeted to him, which means he's going to be a great option for JD5 to pass to. It's a security net. I'm telling you, man, he about to shake up the field, man. Look out for him on your fantasy rosters if you can get him for a good pick. Don't reach up too high for him, though.
Nah, for real. He said, don't go out there. Don't reach for him. All I know is Devontae owns Mikey. Nah, for real. Hey, look, but a lot of people own Mikey. For real.
Well, Devontae gonna have to own Amos now because Mikey's a number 2-3.
So, hey, look, you know Amos ain't getting out there week 1 though. Well, I'm not gonna say that. It doesn't seem like he's gonna be out there week 1. From what's been going on. Because by the injury, and that was another thing I was gonna bring up right here. Trey Amos still out. And I was like, because people were debating, like, if they said he didn't get surgery, if he would have got the surgery, he would have been back to health by now. So, it's your body. You gotta get the surgery if you want it, or if you feel like surgery is always a risk for real. So maybe he didn't want to get the surgery and take that risk for Amos. Let me add him back in. Okay, let me see. Go to these comments real quick. He says, still one of the greatest Redskins Terry is. Nah, for real. Terry, man, that's one of the goats. My Terry jersey over there. I would have grabbed it. Terry jersey over there, man. Shout out Terry. He said never.
My bad, y'all, on this signal stuff. I don't be doing these lives too much. Camera battery down. I got 2 batteries in the camera, man. Listen. Sorry about that.
Man, we gonna get you back right, man, on these live streams, man.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
He said we not losing the Philly bank it. Man, I'm gonna give my honest opinion on the Philly thing. I was 65% sure we was gonna beat Philly. Then Tunzel went down. That took my 65% down 20%. Now I'm at 45%. I'm like, man. It's still doable. I'm not saying we can't do it. It's just gonna be an uphill battle for sure. Like going up to Philly week 1 and our star left tackle's not there. I feel like it'll be a uphill battle for sure. How you feel about it?
I'm gonna keep it 55th Street, man. Listen, man, Philly does not have a good quarterback. I listen. I'm not gonna say a bum. He's not a bum. He's a game manager, and he cannot pass the ball well. Saquon Barkley had a subpar season off, coming one of the greatest seasons. He's on a decline. They definitely have a core overall, but I keep it real, man. I think that we got a bag of tricks that's perfect to give to them guys as a gift, man. I do think Philly has the edge on the competitiveness overall. If we lose to them, I'm not mad, but I also know that we have the quality to beat these guys, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the first game of the season. They're not going to be at their best time and shape and form. Neither are we. But we have 6 tough games that's going to orchestrate and set up the rest of the season and bringing the quality of play to a certain level. So I'm not worried about Philly either. Like, if we lose this first game, we're going to beat them the second time we play them. And if we beat them this first game, even more the reason why we'll beat them in the second. Listen, man, I'm not concerned about Philly. Like, they're not a threat to me. Like, nobody's going to have a perfect season. I'm not worried about that. But they are one of the few teams that I always consider that we may possibly get swept by. Straight up, it's Philly. They done been in championship. They beat us 55 points in the playoffs to our 20-something? Yeah. And to be honest with you, that game was a lot closer than what the score reflected, but they converged and they made touchdowns. They scored. Man, I'm not worried about it, bro. I'm not worried about Philly.
Hey, look, my man DMV Nation said it right here. I meant what I said. He put the exclamation point. I meant what I said. He said, I think our defense is gonna eat. Hey, look, our pass rush. I need our pass rush to eat, because that's gonna be the way. That's going to be the reason we get that win. If our pass rush wreaks havoc on Jaden Daniels and on Jalen Hurts and that offensive line, we could definitely. That's gonna lead to us winning the game. If we don't get no pressure on Philly, they're gonna sit back and they're gonna shred us up. Gemini Rail said we not losing to Philly. I said I'm mad if we. He said I'm mad if we lose to them. This is a huge season for us. This is Big boy gladiator school for real. We gotta. That's why I'm glad that they're practicing hard. They're said they stepped up the training camp this year. The practices went from, they said maybe last year was like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, so now it's like an hour 30, hour 45 minutes. They doing their thing for real. So I definitely feel like they turning up the heat and the pressure. They see what we have. The first 3 weeks of our schedule, they see what kind of schedule we have, so they got to be ready. They said blame Joe Witt for that playoff loss. Man, Joe Witt, man, how you feel about that comment? Blame Joe Witt for the playoff loss. Oh, he muted. Let me see. You muted.
My bad, bro. Joe Witt. I blame Joe Witt for a lot of stuff, man. And to me, he was a bust. We did not scheme well. We did not send enough pressure. It's a combined performance overall, because also the players didn't perform but you also have to scheme well, man. Joe Witt was a bust. And the playoff calling was a bust, but also Dan Quinn is a great defensive coach and has performed on the highest levels, but also failed by giving up leads and stuff like that, even in Super Bowl games. You know, at the end of the day, as a head coach, that falls on Dan Quinn, because now you have to make the adjustments to say, okay, brother, you're not calling a good game. I'm taking over the defensive play calls right now until otherwise.
Oh, yeah.
Especially on that stage. You're talking about championship game. You don't get tomorrow. It's now or never.
Man, it's all in for today.
Yeah. Facts.
But yeah, I'm definitely glad we got Joe Witt out of here. Let's see. Hold on. He said this is a really good. Okay, he said if you're not afraid, then what you got him sweeping us for? I don't know, man. I don't feel like Philly might not sweep us, to be honest. I feel like they might get a game. We might get a game. We usually split it with them, so I don't feel like they sweep us. So you said they was sweeping us?
I said even if they did sweep us, man, the reality of it is as when is the last time we won a division? And also, when is the last time that we've had such a high record on our schedule that it was a landslide? You know, the reality and the history of it tells us that we're around a 10 mark game team at best. In the history, I think this season that, you know, we can win 11 close. Well, Tunsil hurt us, but around 10, 11 games as a wild card option, and we're threatening the playoffs. You know, certain teams like us, man, we make the playoffs. Anybody can get it.
Oh yeah.
Anybody at any time. So uh it's not to say that we can't be Philly, but we got to also look at the recent history. I mean, they have been championship bred. They have a lot of great core offensive and defensive pieces
Mhm.
that has had field days on us on both sides. And I respect history enough to know that it can happen again.
Oh yeah, for sure. And they could, man. There's different Eagles content creators that saying they're gonna win the division again this year, and I'm like, man, I hope they don't get that history because they already broke it last year, the two year winning the division in a row. So I need somebody to knock them off. I feel like maybe even the Cowboys might take that spot over to them. Because I don't know if they sweeping us. I just don't got them. They said this is a really good live. Shout out, man, DMV Nation 202. Man,
Yes,
he been locked
sir.
in. Been locked in the whole live, man. Shout out to him and shout out to everybody that's in the live. So we've been on here for about an hour. I know you got stuff to do and I don't want to hold you up all day. Let's get to the end of this. Let's see. Let's see what other questions I got before we wrap this up real quick. Let's say what players do you gotta would you like to keep an eye on this game? Like you like, man, I'm seeing what this player does, and I would like to see more of this player.
Okay, I'm looking at a few players. This game, last game, we sat 2 dozen players roughly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to see how Frankie Louvu plays, and I'm not going in order of what I'm thinking, but I would like to see Frankie Louvu, Sonny Styles. I need to see more development out of him. He was around the ball last week, but he also and he made plays even trying to get off tackles, but I think he overcommits, so he's probably thinking too much out there. I want to see our wide receiver room step up. I would like to see De'Ami Brown have a decent game. If Luke McCaffrey can perform for us, I mean, I think that this game is going to dictate cuts for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Um, so you're going to see our backups. It's a backup battle for the defensive tackle position, even some of the edge rushes. I would like to see what Joshua Joseph does this game as an edge rusher. Um, I'm looking at everything. I judge the game on so many different levels, but I do want to see who also is going to make those backup safeties positions. We got Butler, we got Hamilton, we got a couple guys. Um, so yeah, I'll look across the board personally, me. Um, but yeah, I want to see what the line does specifically the offensive line. The guys that are backups and the ones that will be starters, I need to see how they perform against a decent pass rusher. You know, so
Yeah.
that's the key thing. And can they protect and uphold long enough for Jaden Daniels to make plays? That's my big take for the game. Can the offensive line contain and keep time on the clock for Jaden Daniels to be able to make plays? Everything else is a wrap, though. What about you, bro?
It would definitely be the O line for me because Jaden is in, so I want to see how it's going to be the starting O line. So I want to see how they stand the pressure of the not the Giants, the Lions defensive line for real. I want to see what they do. Just like DMV Nation, I want to see Katron and I want to see Robert Henry. I want to see them build off of last game. And I went to yesterday. I went to yesterday's joint practice, and I seen they were looking good out there. So I feel like they got that momentum going. And then DMV Nation, he said he wants to see Antonio Williams, and I would like to see him too because I didn't see too much of him in the first game. And then he said that that damn kicker from deep. Man, I definitely want to see us test Drew Stevens out from deep as well, because in the first preseason game, there was a few attempts where we could have gotten to kick a longer field goal in an in-game scenario. So I want to see us test him out in an in-game scenario as well. And that was one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite battles right there.
Bro got a boot.
Oh yeah, he was kicking. Man, he almost kicked it into the woods. I was like, dang. I was like, man, they not about to be able to get the ball.
Hey, you know what's crazy? I was at the preseason yesterday myself, man. I'm surprised I ain't bumped into you.
Yeah, I was over there. I was on the first set of bleachers. Like as soon as you go in, the first set to the left.
Yeah,
I was in the sun for a little bit till the shade, clouds came and covered it.
Yeah.
Okay, we've been on here for an hour and 5 minutes. It's a real good stream. We got 9 people still in the chat. Let everybody know where they could find you, let everybody know, the people in the comment section, know where they could find you at in your social medias.
So y'all can find me, obviously, like and subscribe here. But y'all can also find me on TikTok, which is probably my biggest platform, where I post a little bit more content. And that is Great Shots Media 100. Great Shots Media 100. And then also on Instagram, it's the Hellbone Podcast. Straight up Hellbone Podcast. And as well, man, you let them know where you can follow if there's anybody in here from my side, bro. I appreciate the collab for sure, but definitely let them know where to tap in with you as well.
Oh yeah, on all social medias you could tap in at the overtime Otis on majority of my social medias. I think on X is overtime W Otis, but and appreciate you for getting on day of, because I just reached out to you and said, man, you want to collab? You said, man, let's do it. We set it up and we on here, but we definitely gonna do some collabs in the future because we're getting so much likes in the comment section. We're getting so much comments in the comment section, and it's a good stream. So we definitely gotta do more content in the future.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate collabing with you, man, and hopefully one of these days we can link up, man, and go to a game or something, man.
Oh, yeah.
And have a good time, bro.
We definitely be at the game. We got to tailgate and do something.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, DMV Nation said definitely coming back. Y'all keep the good work.
Hey, DMV Nation, man. Yeah, I tap in, bro. I'll mess with your takes, man. You got a lot of good information, man.
Oh yeah.
I would like to pick his brain with some stuff, man. Definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all for tapping in, man. I love our fan base, man, and I'm loving the content that's coming out, bro. That's been great collabing with you. A lot of people don't understand, man. It's good to be able to talk, even vent about your team with peers that have like-minded thoughts on the same stuff, man.
And similar goals in mind. We all trying to make this going for 3-year Super Bowl. I mean, 3-time Super Bowl champ to 4. We try to get that. We try to get that 4th from coming in. So we got similar goals for sure.
That's a fact, man.
Yeah, but I appreciate you, man. Appreciate everybody in the comment section, man. You already know, man. Overtime with Otis, man. We clocking out.
All right, gang.